Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5 Minutes PM podcast. This podcast is a special podcast. I like to make a tribute to Professor Eliyahu Goldratt, the Israeli physicist that passed away last Saturday, one of the most revolutionary men in the productions field and also the project management field. He was very polemic and also revolutionary with extremely powerful sentences. He broke down all the preconceived concepts about multitasking, and he published an amazing book that was like a revolution in the production engineer, the goal. And this was the basis of the theory of constraint. And he was very, very famous to break down the current ideas, to propose new kinds of looking the work. He was very famous for the sentence telling that the common sense is not common at all. And he's also very famous about the complexity concept. And he said, the more complex is the problem, the simpler the solution must be. And this was the basic of all his ideas around TOC, or theory of constraints. He said that all organizations works like a chain, and the strength of the organization is equal to the strength or the weakest piece of the chain. And he said that if we translate this concept of the chain to our day by day, to our companies, we need to find where are our weaknesses. And we need to submit all our process to this constraint. This was the basic of the theory of constraint. And translating this to the project management field, this was the base of the critical chain. An extremely revolutionary way of looking and working in project environment. Traditionally, we think that we need to do things in parallel. And he said that usually when we start doing multitasking, we lose our focus and we will suffer what he called, and he created this term, the student syndrome. What is the student syndrome? Is that we will take a look on the task as late as possible. As soon as we see the deadline, this will be the time that we'll be starting working on that task. And he said that if we remove this multitasking, the duration of our tasks will be smaller and we'll keep focus. So we'll do more. He was also very famous for the sentence, delay tasks and finish the project early. This was a very interesting way of looking the work. And he, for me, since I started working, the first time that I heard about the goal book, and I read it also the critical chain. He told us a story in his book. And the story, it's very dense, coherent, and it's like a breakthrough. And he was this kind of guy. If you look through the web now, people from project management field, operations units field, they are making also their tributes to Goldratt because he was far one of the most revolutionary guys that we saw in the past 50 years. And the life took him, the word took him too early, 64 years. So it's amazing, but I need to share this. For those who are listening to this podcast that don't know Professor Goldratt, check on the web. Read the goal, the book, The Goal. If you work in the project management field, understand and learn critical chain concepts. For sure, you will recognize him as one of the most charismatic, intelligent, and revolutionary guys that we have in the past years. So I'd like to make this recognition, and I wish God bless Professor Goldratt. Now it's time to rest in peace. You are not here among us, but for sure Your legacy will be forever for us. Thank you very much, and see you next week with another 5 Minutes PM podcast.